Hi everyone! Today I'm going to walk you through how to complete an MLA citation for both a print book and an ebook. You would use the citation if you wanted to cite the entire book or an ebook, not just a specific chapter or section. So first let's start with our print book. As you can see here on my screen, I have my sample MLA citation. The format for citing a book in MLA format is author's last name, comma, author first name with a period at the end, the title of the book in italics with a period at the end, the edition with a comma, publisher with a comma, year with a period at the end, and the name of the database in italics if this is an ebook, followed by a period. Not every book is going to have all of this information. For example, it is not unusual for a book not to have an edition. If you ever don't have the information in the citation, you can just skip it. So let's work on an example of a print book. The print book that I'm going to cite is Understanding Digital Marketing, Marketing Strategies for Engaging the Digital Generation by Damian Ryan. So I'm going to start with the author's name. I'll have Ryan, comma, Damian, with a period at the end. Next, I'm going to have the title of the book in italics. Once I finish, I'll put a period at the end. Now, I can see that this book is in the 3rd edition, so I'll include that information since I have it. So to include the edition, I'll write out the number 3 with an RD at the end and hit space, and then I'm going to shorten edition to just ED and put a period at the end. I also need to include a comma even though I already have a period as well. Next, I'm going to include the publisher, and the publisher's name is Kogan Page. And I'll include a comma after the publisher's name. Next, I'm going to need the publication year, and this book was published in 2014. And I'll close out with a period. Since this is not an ebook, my citation is finished. The only thing I just want to make sure is that I include the hanging indent that you can see right here. But what if I was using an ebook instead of a print book? The citation would be mostly the same, but let's cite the ebook version of this book. So I'm still going to have the author's name in last name, comma, first name order with a period at the end. And I'm still going to have the title of the book in italics with a period at the end. What's going to be a little bit different is that the ebook version of this book is actually in the 4th edition instead of the 3rd edition. So I'll update that in my citation. And remember, for edition, I have the number of the edition with edition abbreviated to just ED with a period at the end and then another comma. The publisher is still going to be Kogan Page with a comma at the end. But it looks like the ebook version of this book was published in 2017. So I'll include that with a period at the end. Now, since this is an ebook, I need to include the name of the database that I'm finding this ebook in. And if I click on the availability for the book, I can see that the ebook is found in eBook Academic Collection. I want to make sure that the name of the database is going to be in italics and has a period at the end. And then finally, I want to make sure that I include the hanging indent and that everything is double-spaced in my citation. And there you have it. I've completed an MLA citation for both a book and an ebook.